Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare Oh, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Oh Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Oh Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Oh Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Oh Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare 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 Krishna Oh Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare 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 Krishna Oh Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Hare Oh Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Oh Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Oh Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Oh Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Ora Premanande Prabhupada ke Guru Srila Prabhupada ki, ISKCON founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada ki, Bhakti Siddhanta Prabhupada Maharaj ki, Ananta Kodi Vaishnavinda ki, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki, प्रेम से कहो जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद की, श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धाम की, मायापुर धाम की, वृंदावन धाम की, द्वारका धाम की, जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की, गंगा मैया की, यमुना मैया की, भक्ति देवी की, तुलसी देवी की, श्री श्री किशोर किशोरी की, श्री श्री गौर निताय की, श्री श्री जगन्नाथ जी बलदेव जी सुभद्रा देवी की, श्री श्री सीताराम लक्ष्मण हनुमान जी की, शीला प्रभुपाद की, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदी. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga.
I'm gonna play harmonium. Yeah, I'm gonna play harmonium.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. On behalf of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, we welcome you all to the Sunday Feast program at the new Seva Kunj Dham here. Thank you so much all for coming today. So a few announcements before we start off with our program. So the Naperville Temple is going to open up soon, a new temple there in ISKCON Temple. So they are inviting Prabhupada there on the 10th of April, that is next Sunday, and 3 p.m. So the temple has invited all of us to be there. Whoever wants to make their way there, they can definitely go there. Also on the 10th of April, we will have a grand celebration here because it's going to be Ram Navami, the appearance of Lord Ram's, appearance of Lord Ram. So, and this whole month we are going to talk about Lord Ram's qualities and what we learn from him. Right? We will have very exciting lectures and in the coming months. So please stay tuned. So also, a few more announcements for the kids. The Sunday school team has organized a Mridanga class for those who are interested. Got these books called Bhagavatam Tales. These are for small kids. Stories from Bhagavatams, very beautiful stories. They have specially brought this from India for the benefit of all the kids here. So if you want to purchase them, they are available in the store. So please do have a look at these books there. Yeah. So anybody who has come for the first time? Anyone? Can you raise a little higher? I can see. All right, okay. So yeah, Haribol, please, welcome them. Yes. So can you please keep your hands up? So we have a small gift for you. So she's going to come and give you a gift. Yeah, when I say gift, more hands come up. So so all right, yeah, there you go. So thank you so much. And also, we would say, okay, the program goes like this. So we'll have a small talk right now. At 6:30, we'll have prasadam, 2 prasadam boxes, which will be served outside. So please be mindful, from 6:30 to 7 only these boxes will be given. So please do take those boxes. And from 7 to 8, come back here. We will have a nice kirtan going on from 7 to 8. And that's when our program ends, right, at 8 o'clock. So for today's Sunday feast, we are His Grace Rajapati Prabhu, who is going to talk about epitome of service. So we'll welcome him with a big Hari Bol. Hari Bol! All right, so thank you so much. Please turn your faces over there. He's going to be sitting here. I would request over there for the elders, all the Matajis can sit on this side and Prabhus can sit on this side here. So that will be great. Thank you so much.
Jai Radha Madhava, Jayo Kunja Vihari. Thank you very much. Jai Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Vihari. Jaya Gopijana Vallabha, Jaya Girivaradhari. Jaya Gopijana, Jaya Girivaradhari. O Jaya Gopijana Vallabha, Jaya Girivaradhari. Jaya Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yashoda Yashodhiravanachari Yamuna Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Jayo Kunja Vihari Jaya O Jaya Radha Madhava Jayo Kunja Vihari Hare Krishna, everybody. Thank you for coming in today. We'll start off with some auspicious prayers. These prayers are supposed to bring auspiciousness before anything. Actually, you can recite these prayers, and we can start with those prayers. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Okay. I hope the laptop turns on today. All right. So today we are here to discuss a little bit about epitome of service, and like Chaitanya Kishore Prabhu said, we are looking forward to Ramanavami next week, and the topics are going to be associated with Lord Ram, Lord Hanuman, and so on. So first of all, I'm grateful for this opportunity to speak on this platform to Chaitanya Kishore Prabhu and the temple authorities for giving me an opportunity here. So with that, we're going to take a look at what service actually means, so that's not where we wanted to go. Let's go home. According to Madhya Leela, Jivera Swarupa Hoy Krishnera Nityadas Krishnera Tatasta Shakti Beda Beda Prakash. Can somebody read the translation? Anybody? Thank you.
You are a pure living entity. You are neither the gross material body nor the subtle body composed of mind and intelligence. Actually, you are a spirit soul, eternally part and parcel of the Supreme Soul, Krishna. Therefore, you are his eternal servant.
Yeah, so this is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu telling Sanatana Goswami as to who he really is. And this applies to all of us. We are eternally servants of the Lord. And how does one get into service? How does one start their journey in service? And that is through hearing. Sthane stita shritigatam tanuvan manobhir. So when Ramananda Rai was having this conversation with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, think it's here. The blurriness is here, I think. I'll do full screen also, sorry. Yeah, I think this one, yeah. Yeah. This one is- Yeah. All right, so Ramananda Roy continued, Lord Brahma said, "My dear Lord, those devotees who have thrown away the impersonal conception of absolute truth and have therefore abandoned discussing empiric philosophical truths should hear from self-realized devotees about your holy name, form, pastimes, and qualities." So by hearing, we go to the next process of service, right? If we start with hearing and we end with devotional service, even with the devotional processes, 9 processes of devotional service, we start with Shravanam, exactly. So hearing results in the next process, and everything that comes after is actually devotional service, including hearing as well. So surrendering themselves fully with body, words, and mind. That's actually devotional service, right? When we surrender with full body and mind and words, we are engaging in devotional service. And then another point here is everyone is a servant, regardless of whether you agree or not. Everyone is serving one or the other, right? Is the President of United States serving somebody? Who is he serving? Yeah, the government, the people, yes, the nation. What about the army? Same? Nation, yeah. And the doctor, any doctors here? I know Sapna Mataji is probably downstairs. Okay, so patients, yes, exactly. And IT professionals, anybody? That'll be a big word. And who are you serving? The IT professionals, so, yeah, not the professors, that'll be teachers. Who are you serving? Yeah, customers, your bosses, your company, right? You cannot say that you're not serving anybody, you know. Any teachers here? I'm sure there's Sunday school teachers, right? Music teacher, right? You're all serving who? Yeah, the students, right? Any husbands here? Okay, and you're all serving your kids, okay? And he's being very careful here. So, yeah, serving. And Bob Dylan, he's a famous singer, and he wrote this song about serving somebody, you know. You may be an ambassador to England or France. You may be the heavyweight champion of the world. You may be a socialite with a long string of pearls. You're going to have to serve somebody. Yes, indeed. You're going to have to serve somebody. Well, it may be the devil, or it may be the Lord, but you're going to have to serve somebody. You might be a rock and roll addict prancing on the stage. You might have drugs at your command, women in a cage. They may call you a doctor, or they may call you the chief, but you're going to have to serve somebody. Yes, you are. You're going to have to serve somebody. Well, it may be the devil, or it may be the Lord, but you're going to have to serve somebody. Okay? This is actually the last line. Whether you're, serving the devil or the Lord is very close to our philosophy. And we'll go through that as well. But it's the dharma, or the essence of the soul, to serve somebody. Yeah? So the essence of the soul is to serve somebody. It's the intrinsic quality of the soul to serve somebody. And fortunately, in our philosophy, we know who to serve. Otherwise, it would be very difficult. We'll be lost serving somebody. So, there are some verses which help us in identifying who to serve. This is from Vishnu Purana. Vishnu Shakti Para Prokta Kshetra Gnatya Tatapara Avidya Karma Samnatnya Tritiya Shakti Rishyate. Shivram Prabhu, you still have the mic, or maybe Prabhu, you can read through the translation, please.
The internal potency of the Supreme Lord Vishnu is spiritual, as verified by the Shastras. There is another spiritual potency known as Kshetragna, or the living entity. The third potency, which is known as Nescience, makes the living entity godless and fills him with fruitive activity.
Yeah, so talking about serving the Lord or the devil, right? There are two energies, and essentially three energies of the Lord, which is being talked about in this verse. One is the marginal energy, and the internal energy, and the external energy of the Lord. And we are on the marginal energy. We have to choose whether we serve the internal energy of the Lord or the external energy of the Lord. And it's best to choose the internal energy of the Lord, and He's going to tell us that in the next verse. But we don't necessarily call Maya Devi the devil. We call and worship her because we need that mercy from her. She's actually, testing us in order for us to qualify and, be able to worship the internal energy of the Lord. So, Namchayo Vebicharena Bhakti Yogena Sevate Sagunan Samtityan Brahmapuyaya Kalpate. That's Bhagavad Gita.
Yeah. So one who engages in full devotional service, who does not fall down in any circumstances, at once transcends the modes of material nature and thus comes to the level of Brahman.
Yeah, so if we want to transcend and get to in the spiritual world, one of the first steps is devotional service. So to end on the service part, your seva or service, mind as we go through this, the slides here. So we are here to talk about Hanuman, who is for the different processes of bhakti. Dasyam is one of the steps in servitorship to the Lord. And Hanuman, as a servant of Lord Ram, is the ultimate example of that Dasyam. Right? So let's go through Hanuman, a little bit about Hanuman. He's probably one of the most famous deity in India. Any rickshaw you get into, any taxi you get into, you'll see a big poster of Hanuman, right? The big orange sticker. I don't have a picture of that here, but anybody who's gone to India, you'll see that. Every taxi will, everyone in like 2 taxis will have that. He's the hero of Ramayana. Many people may argue that Lord Ram is a hero of Ramayana, but even Lord Ram would agree that Hanuman is the hero of Ramayana. There's a folklore in Ayodhya where there was this devotee of Lord Ram on Ramanavami day. He was singing the bhajans loudly singing names of Hanuman. So Lord Ram got really, he was puzzled and he wanted to know why is he singing the names of Hanuman. So he came down and he appeared in front of this devotee and he asked him, why are you doing this? It's my birthday. The devotee was like, dear Lord, you're like a lotus flower and the honey from within you can only be given to us by a honeybee like that of Hanuman. So Hanuman is compared to the honeybee who gives us the nectar from the Lord. So that's why he was chanting the holy. And the Lord appreciated that. He said, that's completely understandable. I'm with you. So he was strictly celibate. Any brahmacharis or trying to be brahmacharis, you know who to worship. And free of all fear. He got a few benedictions, and we're going to see those benedictions. He was free of all fear. In fact, when he went in front of the enemy was very, very fearful of Hanuman. So let's see the monkey servant. He's in monkey form. Can you imagine? And most people, when they first look at Hanuman, and if they have no idea about who Hanuman is, and they'll be puzzled as to why are they worshipping this form of, in the form of Lord Hanuman in a monkey form. But Prabhupada mentions that this is a special qualification, and we don't need to have a special qualification in order to worship the Lord. In order to get to the position of the best servant, you don't need to be having any special qualification. Prabhupada mentions in this purport from 7th canto, where Prahlad Maharaj is praying to Lord Nrsingadev. Nrsingadev, after killing Hiranyakashipu, he's ferocious. And he's there, and all the demigods are trying to calm him down. And at that point, the demigods are not able to, and they go and beg Prahlad Maharaj, who, because of him, his prayers, he came out right from the pillar. So he's asked to, calm him down. And at that point, Prahlad Maharaj is singing these prayers, and in those prayers he mentions about Gajendra, and Prabhupada mentions about Hanuman in the form of monkey and Gajendra in the form of elephant. They reached pure devotional service without having any of the material opulences. So we can see that even in the monkey form, one can become the best of servants of the Lord. That gives us hope, doesn't it? So, talking about greatest survivor, in Brihad Bhagavatamrita, Narad Muni, there's a whole phase where Narad Muni is actually searching for the best of devotees of the Lord. And he's searching and searching, and he comes to a first Brahmana who's actually worshipping his Shaligram Shila, and he's worshipping him so nicely, and he's giving him everything that he has. And he says, "You are the best of all servants of the Lord." And then this Brahmana says, no, my king, who has so many responsibilities, but still has so much time to worship the Lord, he's the best of them all. So he goes to the king, and the king sends him to Indra, Indra to Brahma, Brahma to Shiva, Shiva to Prahlad Maharaj. Shiva says, in all of Vaikuntha, you cannot find anybody. Prahlad Maharaj is the one. And Prahlad Maharaj actually sends him to Hanuman. So he gives a whole description of the glories of Hanuman and how he served the Lord. And we're going to go into a little more details. And he says that he's the best of all. And what's in a name, right? Hanuman, the word Hanu comes from jaw. In Sanskrit, Hanu means jaw. And he has a broken jaw. And it's an interesting story. When Hanuman was a little boy, he actually looked at the sun, and especially when like evening time, and it looked like a ripe yellow mango to him. And he wanted that mango, so he went, jumping for that mango, and he actually could do that because he was son of Vayu. And when he was about to reach, and he actually takes a bite here in the picture, but he's about to reach Indra, the lord of the demigods. He sees that, and he wants to make sure that the sun is there. In fact, Rahu goes and complains to Indra, saying that you should stop this kid from getting the sun. And Indra throws his most powerful weapon, the thunderbolt, Vajra, at the face of Hanuman, and he gets hit, and at that time he gets a broken jaw, and that's why he's called Hanuman. So, what are some of the qualities we can see in Hanuman? And there's some really good qualities we can follow and get inspired from. Vibhishana is brother of Ravan. Ravan is the one who kidnapped Sita from Lord Ram. And when Vibhishana comes to surrender, Vibhishana is actually a devotee of the Lord. He is just, I guess, placed in the wrong court. Wrong side. But somehow he always tries to inspire, again, this is a pastime of the Lord. He tries to inspire Ravana to take the right decisions, but unfortunately he doesn't. And at the time of the war, Vibhishana comes to, and he actually is expelled by his brother Ravana, who's the ruling king. And he comes to the shelter of his Lord. He doesn't know anything else to do. And that's when he comes there. He's a Rakshasa. He's a demoniac. He's born in that family. So all the Vanaras, when they look at Vibhishana coming there, they're like, this guy is another one of Ravana's brothers, right? So he may not have the right intentions when he's coming here. So everybody's, going to Ram and saying that, please do not let him come here, land here. But Lord Ram asks Hanuman as to what to do. And Hanuman is his advisor, and he says, he sees the sincerity of the purpose. He can see why Vibhishana is here. And he says, you should take him in. and Lord Ram gives him his shelter. And Lord Ram announces that even if Ravana were to surrender today, I would give him, my shelter as well. So such is the example of compassionate Hanuman, and he can see the sincerity of purpose. So when we are serving the Lord with sincerity, Hanuman can see that. And even for us, if we are going to pray to Hanuman, he will give us that sincerity, of purpose in worshiping the Lord. And what we can learn from Vibhishana is, even when he was in Lanka, he had a Tulsi at his place, and he was worshipping Tulsi Maharani at his place in Lanka. And he was always worshipping the Lord. He was always chanting the Lord's names. So even when he was in Lanka, like a place like Lanka, he was still able to, do this. At the same time, in Kaikeyi, when she was in Ayodhya, because of her association with Manthara, she was completely, acting like a demoniac person at that point of time, right? So this is what we can learn. So it doesn't matter where we are, we can have Vrindavan in our home, right? And as soon as we get into association of, that's something that's not spiritually inclined and spiritually helpful for us, we can immediately get deviated away. So this is a very important lesson we can all learn from Vibhishana and that of Kaikeyi. Next is the intelligence. Hanuman built, or with the help of all the other Vanaras, he strategized and built this whole bridge, right? And the idea of writing the name of Sri Ram on those stones and the big rocks and putting them in water was that of Hanuman. So they wrote these names, and when they put the big rocks and stones on the water, they were floating on the ocean. So you can still see that bridge today. And satellite pictures will show you that bridge, the Rama Setu, and you can be thankful to Hanuman for that bridge, although you cannot use that today. So, yeah, he was the strategic planner for Lord Ram. He was a poet. He was well versed in the Vedas. He was a very intelligent, soldier or a general in Lord Ram's army. Strength, of course, there's no second thoughts when it comes to Hanuman's strength. The Lanka attack, when he went alone, he flew over the ocean, and he was able to get to this. We're going to talk about that pastime, but he was able to single-handedly, as a soldier, he was able to kill 80,000 soldiers on Ravan's side. And a great demon called Jambu Mali, 7 sons of Ravana's ministers, 5 commander-in-chiefs, Akshaya Kumara, who was a son of Ravana himself, and he set fire to the entire city of Lanka. When they set fire on his tail, what did he do? He set fire to the entire Lanka before he flew back, once he found Mother Sita over there. Fight with Ravana, you can see that Lord Ram is sitting on top of Hanuman while shooting arrows on Ravana here, right in this picture here. He was a carrier for Hanuman and Lakshman. So many times he carried them on his back, and Mother Sita also. And Sanjeevani Mountain, that's another famous pastime where Lakshman, Lord Ram's brother, is hit with this poisonous arrow, and he falls unconscious. And the only herb that can help in this case is in the mountains of Himalaya. So he flies all the way. He could not find which herb to pick, so he carries the whole mountain back. And they're able to cure Lakshman out of his unconsciousness. So this one is another interesting pastime where Mother Sita, one day, this represents the innocence of Hanuman. And innocence is not actually a bad quality for a devotee to be, even though, it's not something that's always encouraged. But for a devotee, it's actually a good quality to have. Hanuman, when Mother Sita, she's wearing sindoor. I think you would have seen that sindoor is like this little red dot that a lot of, I think it's called vermilion, and the kumkum also. They wear it for the protection of their husbands in India. And Hanuman asks Mother Sita as to why are you wearing that? And Sita Maya, she says, I'm wearing this for protection of Lord Ram. So Hanuman immediately takes the entire plate of kumkum and he pours it all over his body, and he, turns completely red. And he goes out, and Shatrughna and Lakshman, they're all laughing at him. And Lord Ram asks, what is happening, Hanuman? Why are you so red? And Hanuman says, this is what Mother Sita told. So if one dot can protect you, and why not, cover my entire body with kumkum? And at that time, Lord Ram is very pleased with his devotion. He gives him a hug, and in fact, Lord Ram has seen so much selfless service from Hanuman. And in spite of all those services, when Lord says, he offers him liberation as a reward, Hanuman did not accept it. He did not want anything in return for the service. So this is another inspiring thing for all of us, that when we do service, we should not expect anything in return. This is something we can learn from Hanuman. So he says, even though liberation destroys the bondage of material existence, Hanuman told Ram that I have no desire for liberation in which I would forget that you are the master and I am your servant. So any such liberation where we are lost without a master of, without the Lord being our master, is not worth it. Okay, so that's about Hanuman. We're going to touch base a little bit about the leap of faith. This is, something I touched upon earlier. The leap of faith is when Hanuman, we talked about how he had this, the sun, the desire for eating the sun. So he goes and grabs the sun, and Indra is hitting him. At that time, his father, Vayu, he's also one of the demigods. He's responsible for all the wind and the air that's flowing through the planets. And he gets very upset on Indra because he hit the thunderbolt on his son's jaw, right? And he falls down. And at that time, he goes, he takes away all the air out of the planet. And nobody's able to breathe at that time, right? So all the demigods, they rush to Brahma, and they come down, and they somehow convince Vayu, and Vayu says, you have to, make up for it. So all the demigods give all those benedictions, like Indra gives a benediction where he says, no thunderbolt, including my Vajra, can ever touch you. Your body will be like that of a thunderbolt. Varuna gives him another benediction where, your water will not be a problem for you. Like, you can never be drowned. Brahma gives his Brahmastra. He has powers where he can change the size, from he can go to the size of an ant, and he can, grow to the size of a mountain. He gets flying powers from all the demigods. So, so many demigods give him so many different powers. And he's a child, right? So with all these powers, he wants to experiment. So while experimenting with all these powers, he goes and offends some sages. And some, these are powerful sages. So they curse him when he was a child that you will forget all your powers, and only in the time of need, and only if somebody reminds you of these powers, you will be able to remember them. So when the whole contingent of Vanaras are searching for Mother Sita, who's, in all the different directions. One contingent with Hanuman and Jambavan and Angada, they reach the shores of India, the southern shores, Rameshwaram. And at that time, they don't know who can jump across the ocean and reach Lanka. So they're trying to see who can go. And Angada says, well, I can go, all the way, but I cannot come back. So then at that point, Jambavan, who's the eldest of all, he remembers and he reminds Hanuman about all his powers. And as soon as he remembers, Hanuman is able to take the leap of faith and jump. So what can we learn from Jambavan here and not Hanuman? Jambavan, he represents a devotee who's always looking to inspire others. More often than not, we, in the material world at least, we see people, whenever we are seeing somebody who is good at something that we are good at, the natural tendency is to bring them down, right? Or try to find some faults in them, try to complain against them. Things like this happen a lot. And he is trying to remind Hanuman of, something that he's capable of. So he's teaching us a corporate, lesson here for all of us, where we are usually taught in all these corporate lessons that bring the best in others, right? The sign of a leader is to bring the best in your team, right? Identify what is best and bring that out. So he's teaching us this, and we should never be envious of others, even among devotees, when. So before he jumps, or during the jump, when he's flying, Hanuman takes shelter of these three things. This is something that we can also take shelter of. Hanuman contemplated on Lord Ram's words. So when he's about to leave, Lord Ram gives his ring, which for identification, when Mother Sita sees Hanuman, she should be able to know, because she doesn't know Hanuman. So she should be able to, she's already fooled once with the deer, right? So she'll be extremely careful of who she is seeing and what, I saw a deer already, now there's a monkey coming in front of me. So he gives the ring for identification, and he gives him some instructions, and he's trying to remember Lord Ram's state, how distressed he is, and his words, which he gave when he was flying, and instructions. And also he remembers that all his monkey friends in the shore, they promise him that they're going to pray and they're going to do some austerities so that he can fly high and he doesn't get tired. So he's trying to remember all his friends back on the shore. He also is chanting the holy name constantly. Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Jai Ram. He's chanting those names constantly of the Lord, and he's flying, and he's grateful for that, the power that he's getting from the holy name. So when we face the challenges and the calamities in our life, these are three things that we can take shelter of also. One is the Lord's words. How can we take shelter? We obviously don't have any instructions from Lord Ram, right? So how do we take shelter of Lord Ram's words or Lord Krishna's words? Sorry? Yeah, through devotees and scriptures. Yeah, scriptures. So scriptures have the instructions of the Lord. Bhagavan Sri Krishna is giving direct instructions in Bhagavad Gita, right? So we can always take shelter of Gita, Bhagavatam. And obviously, I don't think anybody here has monkey friends, but we all have friends, right? We all have association of devotees who always are, well-wishers, and who we can think of and take shelter of in terms of calamities and challenges. And obviously, we have the chanting of the holy name, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So we have the best of all mantras, the Maha Mantra, to take shelter of. Let's take a look at some obstacles when Hanuman was flying over the ocean. He had to face a few obstacles. And I'm sure anybody who's started their devotional journey has to go through obstacles, right? Anybody here who's gone through obstacles? Or is it just me? Yeah. So let's take a look at some of these obstacles he had to go through and what we can learn from those obstacles also. So Mainaka Mountain, while he was, flying across, Hanuman, he all of a sudden saw this big mountain coming out of the ocean and standing in front. And Hanuman did not know what this is or who this is. And the personality from the mountain, he speaks and he says that he is one of the closest friends of Dasharath, who is Lord Ram's father. And he says that, well, I would like to serve you because you're trying to serve Lord Ram. And please take some rest before you go to Lanka. I want to serve you. And Hanuman at this point is kind of like puzzled and, he doesn't know what to do because it's an offer that, coming from another devotee of the Lord. And he's trying to, he needs to be courteous, right? Devotees need to be courteous when another devotee is offering you something. But at the same time, he also remembers that he has a higher goal, which is to please Lord, who's distressed right now, looking for Sita. He doesn't have a lot of time. He's very close to his goal. If he takes rest, he's not going to make it. So all he does is he touches the mountain and then he flies back and then he says, please accept this as, me taking rest here. And thank you so much for the offer. So what we can learn is we always get, when we get into devotional service, we get also, because of the mercy of the Lord, because of the mercy of the devotees, we get some comforts. And we have to be very careful not to get lost in those comforts. But at the same time, we don't have to reject all comforts also. So we have to be very careful in striking a balance in using those comforts in the association, in the service of the Lord, and making sure that we don't get lost in those comforts either. So nourishing intelligence and staying focused on the best and not settling for the good is another important lesson. So sometimes we get a choice between good and bad and the best, right? And when we have a choice between bad and best, it's easy. You can choose the best. But when we get a choice between good and best, our mind says, maybe we should settle down for the good because it's easy, right? Anybody? Yeah. So, but we have to stay focused on the best and get to that goal. Choose your battles. So, that's a scary demon there. Surasa is actually not a demon. She is sent by Brahma and other demigods to test Hanuman on his bala and buddhi, which is strength and intelligence. And Surasa takes the form of a demon. And when Hanuman is facing her, at that time, she again comes out to the ocean, and all of a sudden he's startled and he doesn't know what to do. And she says that I have been given a boon from Lord Brahma, and you will have to pass through my mouth in order for you to cross the ocean. You cannot go, you'll have to go into my mouth. So at that time, Hanuman is like, he's trying to see what to do. And okay, so if you make your mouth as big as, me, because he knows that he can grow as big as he wants, so then I can, get into your mouth. And he thinks that that's going to work, but then the demon also starts growing its mouth as big as Hanuman. And this goes on for some time, and Hanuman realizes, okay, this is not working, because this is going to go on forever, and I'm losing time here again. So he, again, is choosing his battles. And he could have gone on, and it would never end. So what he does is, all of a sudden, he becomes really small. He gets into the mouth and comes out of the mouth. And he says, okay, there it is. Hope you're satisfied because I went into your mouth, and that was the benediction from Brahma, that you had to go into the mouth, and now I'm out. So at that time, Surasa is very impressed with his intelligence, and she says, okay, and yeah, so, primarily we have to know when to let go. This is the lesson we can learn from this obstacle. We have to know when to hold on to and when to let go. And we always have limited time in this world as well. I don't know about you guys, but I'm getting old. And we have very less time. So we have to make sure we spend that time, crucial time, on the right things, right? And in the service of the Lord. And it also shows Hanuman's humility, because he didn't, when the demon was growing big, he went, small, and he didn't want to, he did not keep going on, right? So he went to a humble mode, and he said, okay, please allow me. And more often than not, humility is seen among devotees as something where we, look down upon ourselves, and, we say, oh, Prabhu, I'm not qualified for this, but, we may do that genuinely sometimes. We may know our capabilities, but at the same time, humility is not something where we look down upon ourselves. Right, I put this quote here from, I think, C.J. Lewis. True humility is not thinking less of oneself, it's thinking of yourself less. Does that make sense? Yeah. So, ego battles can be endless, and we have to choose humility. The final one is that of Simhika. Simhika was actually a demon. This was not somebody sent by Brahma or someone. And the unique capability of this demon was it could catch shadows. So when Hanuman was flying in the ocean, over the ocean, from the ocean, she could catch the shadow and pull down the person. And she planned to kill and feast on Hanuman. And at that time, Hanuman is, even all his strength is lost because she's pulling down. What Hanuman does is he gets into the tummy and then tears open, does not give up easily. He gets his strength back and tears open the tummy of the demon, and then comes flying out of the demon, and the demon falls down in the ocean, and Hanuman is able to, go across the ocean. So Simhika and the pastime of Simhika teaches us a lesson of, one closed door through the mouth, you can always make another door through the tummy. Okay, so sometimes, and she represents envy. Sometimes envy, or people who are envious of us, they try to bring us down, like I was sharing earlier. And this demon is, pulling Hanuman down. But Hanuman did not give up, on the Lord's name, gained his strength back, and he was able to look for another door. So when envious people try to pull us down, we should keep on it. We should not give up. And the Lord will help as long as we have the right faith. And instead of glaring at the closed door, which just closed, we should look for another door. So that's one lesson we can learn from Hanuman in this pastime. And failures will come in our spiritual life. We should not get bogged down, and we should not, think that one failure is actually a failed spiritual life. So we should go on. We should keep on it. And inner power of faith attracts the supreme divine grace, like how, in this case, Hanuman's, faith in the Lord attracted the Lord's grace. So those were some of the lessons, some of the obstacles that Hanuman had to go through, and what we can learn. And we are able to take the leap of faith. We are able to jump the ocean. We are able to cross. If you look at Jambavan inspiring Hanuman, did Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur take the jump across the ocean? No, right? Who did? Srila Prabhupada did. And Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur inspired him to, go across the ocean and jump across the ocean. So when we have humility to hear, like how Prabhupada did, like how Hanuman did, from the right instructions and have that faith, we can jump across the oceans, right? So with that, I see that we are 6:29. I would say Happy Ram Navami, which is coming soon, next Sunday. We start at 5 p.m. as Chaitanya Kishore Prabhu announced. It's going to be grand celebrations, grand feast. I know the menu already, so I'm looking forward to it. So Jai Shri Ram. Thank you so much, everybody. Hare Krishna. Hare Bol.
Thank you so much. I think we're out of time. We won't have any questions. Sorry. So the prasadam will be outside again for half an hour till 7 o'clock. And then we will have kirtan here from 7 to 8. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Seven. Is that Amber? It is. That's Amber, right? Oh, good. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Is that Olga? Yeah. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Amber. Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare. Rama, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hey bro, back. Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya, Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Gora Haribo. Nisa Gora Haribo. Haribo Nisa Gora Haribo. Haribo Nisa Gora Haribo. Love the You have to leave?
You're going already? No, no, he has to leave.
Huh? Oh, you okay? Cool. You don't know. Cool. No. So
It's because this thing's out. That's why.
it was out.
Yeah.
Oh.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. That's so good. Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Rama Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Hare Hare Rama Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare
Is playing? You playing? Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna next Hare Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna, everyone. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Oh Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Oh Hare Krishna, Oh Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Oh Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, oh Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, oh Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, oh Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, oh Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Oh Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Oh Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Slow. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, and Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna. Everybody can come a little closer. This is our last kirtan, and we can get even better in the mood. Come closer, come closer, closer, closer. Everybody, come closer. A little closer. So we see each other, we feel each other, we hear each other. Thank you very much for playing such a beautiful. Early, we were asking, devotees around the world, they were praying for the betterment of the world. There's so much conflict. Right now, our brothers and sisters in Ukraine are going through a very, very hard time. And devotees around the world, we're getting together to pray beautiful place and better place to be. So in that mood, we can get into a very prayerful mood to sing this last kirtan for Kishore Kishori. Within our heart, praying for the goodness in this world. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashatya Deshatarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Nama Hare Nama Eva Kevalam Kalo Nastyeva 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 Gatiranyata Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Ram Ramo, Hare Hare. Gaura. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Radhe Radhe, Gauranga. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Gaura, 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 Harinam. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Go. Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Adrian, Adrian. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hup. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Oh. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Oh, Harinama, Harinama. Bolo Radhe Govinda Jaya, Radhe Govinda. Govinda. Oh, Radhe Govinda, Jaya Radhe Govinda. Baje Radhe Govinda, Jaya Radhe Govinda. Oh, Radhe Govinda, Jaya Radhe Govinda. Oh. Bolo Radhe Govinda, Jaya Radhe Govinda. Oh, Radhe 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 Govinda. Oh. Radhe 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 Govinda. Radhe Govinda, Jaya Radhe Govinda. Baje Radhe Govinda, Jaya Radhe Govinda. Radhe 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 Govinda. Oh. Bolo Radhe 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 Govinda. Govinda 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 Govinda. Oh. Govinda 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 Govinda. Radhe Govinda, Jaya Radhe Govinda. Radhe Govinda, Jaya Radhe Govinda. Oh, Radhe Govinda, Jaya Radhe Govinda. Oh. Radhe 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 Govinda. Radhe 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 Govinda. Govinda 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 Govinda. Govinda 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 Govinda. Govinda 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 Govinda. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Harinam, Harinam. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Oh. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Oh. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Oh! Kishore. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol. Jaya Kishore Kishori, Kishore Kishori, Kishore Kishori, Jaya Kishore Kishori. Kishore Kishori, Kishore Kishori, Jaya Kishore Kishori. Let's sing all together, all together. Jaya Kishore Kishori, Jaya Kishore Kishori, Jaya Kishore Kishori, Jaya Kishore Kishori. One more time. Kishore Kishori, Jaya Kishore Kishori, Jaya Kishore Kishori, Jaya Kishore Kishori. Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra. Jagannatha, Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Baladeva, Jaya Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada. Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Nitai Gaura Premanandi Hare Hare Bol. Sri Harinam Sankirtan Jagya Ki. Sri Shikishor Kishori Ki. Sri Jagannath Sri Baladev Shrimati Shubhadra Maharani Ki. Shri Gaura Nitai Ki. Shila Prabhupada Ki. Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki. Nitai Gaura Premanandi Hare Hare Bol. Jai Hari Bol. I have to get your mardanga. Nice rhythm. Did you get into it? You learn very fast. But listen, when you put it next time, I'll show you how to put it so it's all in there. When you put it like this, you roll it like this. And then secure. Yep.
Fantastic, Prabhu. Fantastic.
He knows how to do all